Alright gang, welcome back to our Can You Survive 25 challenge here on Zielonka. It is now November. We have $25,000 in the bank after selling a little bit of wood overnight. I think we kind of figured out what's going on with the tree greenhouse here to an extent. Looks like there's a mod that I have installed for this series that might be playing a little bit of a pivotal role on why the actual trees are not spawning, but the wood chips do. But that's okay. It doesn't really make that big of a difference as we've looked at, right? It doesn't fluctuate that much, so I'm actually okay with keeping it on the auto-selling perspective for the time being. So we don't have the wood chips on auto-selling, and that's really the biggest thing. The wood chips do fluctuate often, and a lot, I guess I should say, versus the wood that doesn't fluctuate all that much. So I'm not too concerned about it. Now, you could say the same thing about, you know, what we're doing right now, which is stacking up the chilies and the tomatoes, the pickled chilies and tomatoes. These don't fluctuate all that much either, so I could technically put these on auto-selling as well, but I would really, ideally, not want to do that for these, so... How's everyone doing today? Hope you're all doing well. In the last episode, in case you missed it, we did get the first harvest done on farm number 2. Now, farm number 2 is in a bit of a stagnant point, or a stagnant area right now, where it has a piece of land, it's got a harvester now, and it has an actual planter, but it doesn't have a tractor, it doesn't have a trailer, it doesn't have any kind of a cultivator or plow, which will be required to be able to reseed or replant that field. So we basically are in a situation now where we just need to try to get some money together so we can actually fund, you know, Farm 2 a little bit more to be able to give it the ability to produce on a consistent basis, if you will. But to do that, we've got to make sure we keep this farm moving, and this farm does need some more liquid fertilizer. Now, off camera, I did do a little bit more work of moving some water around, as we kind of did in the last episode, just trying to align things a little bit better in regard to our production that automatically pulls the water from the lake right next to us and kind of, you know, transports that wherever it needs to be to all the different productions we have. And so it should be in a lot better spot now. It's probably still got a little bit more it needs to do as far as the wood goes, but as you can see, well, actually, it's almost full, as you can see. So this should help overall. This water pump distributor should help overall with being able to, you know, manage all of these productions and evenly transport that out. But as you can tell, all of the liquid fertilizer is pretty low. So we need to buy some more liquid fertilizer. We only have $25,000 to our name, which is not a ton of money. Wood chips... hold on a second. Let me get down. It's going to take me a minute to get all the way down here to the wood chips, but wood chips, I believe it's December, January, so we're getting close. I don't know what the price is for them now. Perhaps we should potentially sell those today as well, depending on how things go here. It is January. Right now, it's not terrible. You know, we can get $4.15 from the heating plant there, which is not a terrible amount. But really, I think I would prefer to hold off at least until next month to sell those wood chips. I really want to try to get as much money as we can out of that, because that is going to be a huge money maker for us. Now, the field we've harvested on Farm 2 in the last episode, it's not something very specific that, you know, that's going to be required for us to have anything, you know, this month, next month, probably not even really January either. But in February, we're probably going to really need to have something ready to go as far as plowing the field up or cultivating the field up, a tractor. That way, when you know, the new season starts, we can actually put something in the ground in that field. We really don't want to leave that without anything in the ground, if at all possible. So supermarket, which we've been to a couple of times. Yep, same spot we've been to, so we know where that is. So we'll head on over there now, turn the beacons on. I think I've got all the straps down. Yep, we're good. How's everyone doing today? Hope you're all doing well. People seem to be enjoying that this series is back, so I'm glad about that. So far, I'm having a lot of fun with the reboot, or the retool that we did here. Definitely put us in a lot better position. We still run into issues there with some of the curbs, but it definitely put us in a better position to succeed with this series as we move forward. Now, there's going to be probably a number of contracts we could potentially do. There's a lot of contracts, as a matter of fact. We'll look at all those and see which one, you know, looks best for us, but we're definitely going to be doing some contracts today. We only have $25,000 in the bank account, right? We need to get a little bit more money. We would ideally like to buy something for Farm 2 today, whether that's a trailer, whether it's a tractor, whether it's a, you know, plow or a cultivator, or something. We would like to have something for that farm purchase today. But having said that, we do need to be transparent that we are going to require you know, a little bit of money for our current farm 1, to be able to put more fertilizer in, right? We need more liquid fertilizer for the greenhouses. We can switch to solid fertilizer for the wood if we want to now, but nonetheless, we do need more to continue, right? So it's a tough one, right? It's a tough one. How much money are we actually going to have when all this is said and done after we buy all this stuff? Probably not a lot, honestly. Our environmental score penalty is negative 280. So it puts us up to $37,702, which is fantastic. But liquid fertilizer is not cheap. It's not cheap, even remotely cheap. So the question now becomes, how much liquid fertilizer do we buy? As you saw, we bought some in the last episode. Wasn't enough. We're low on quite a few of those. So I don't know, right? I don't know the answer. Some of them have a little bit more than others, sure, but let's pull over here to the side. Let's look at the shop for a minute. Let's see what we can do. Is there anything on the used market for us? That would be wonderful to have. I just don't know where or how we would utilize it. 75 horsepower is not going to cut it. That is not going to cut it. So no to that. Tractor-wise, I think. Let me make sure of this. I think the plow is, yeah, it's 180 horsepower. I was going to say, I think it's almost 200 horsepower that's required. So what does that mean? Well, it means most of the small tractors are probably going to be a no, unless we find something that's close and, you know, utilize some weights and things like that to try to get there. I mean, this one's close, 153. But I think in the medium area, I think there's some options for us that might get us a little bit closer for a little bit of a cheaper price. The steer here is not bad. We've utilized that in the past. Yeah, so here we go. 58,000. We can do like a Challenger, or even this Fiat would work. That's a little bit closer. We don't have enough money for that today, obviously, but just gives us an idea of, you know, where's our mark at? Where are we trying to get to? Yeah, like this 58.5 here from the Agco would be a great one, I think, to have. We've used that tractor in the past, early on this game. This John Deere would be wonderful as well. So somewhere in the 50 range, 50 to 60,000 range is what we're looking at. It's what we need. Now, granted, I say that, yeah, 60. We're looking at probably 60,000. We just need to keep that in our mind. $60,000 is really what we're looking for here. If we can get to $60,000, we can buy a tractor. So that's a lot of money, right? That's a lot of money. We don't have a lot of money right now. We've got to buy more fertilizer and seed. Well, actually, do we need seed for the wood? We might. We do need seeds. Okay, so we've got to buy a lot of stuff today, really, to keep those going. The wood's not even producing right now. It might be something where we might have to push ourselves to sell some of those wood chips today just to try to get... I really shouldn't do that, though. We really shouldn't do that. Okay, nonetheless, let's buy some seeds here. We need to buy some seeds. In the interest of time here, I'm just going to buy the liftable pallet ones over here, and we're just going to throw them on the trailer. I know I have stuff, and I'm doing liftable and not liftable, but it doesn't really make that big of a difference. Whenever I have the ability to do so, I will not do liftable, but yeah. So let's see. So you get 2,000 liters of liquid fertilizer for 3,200. You only get 1,000 liters of solid fertilizer for 1920. So if we look at the production, quick autosave, of course, but if we look at the production, let's see here. Let's see what the difference between how much liquid fertilizer it utilizes versus solid fertilizer. So 0.25, and it's 0.25 solid fertilizer too. So I guess it doesn't really matter. All right, well, let's do the liquid fertilizer then. This is so expensive. Look at that. 3 of those, we're already spending 10 grand. I mean, 10 grand puts us back to where we started at today. I don't love it. I don't love it at all. Let's look at the contracts. All right, so we've got a big harvesting contract. I don't really want to do that carrots harvesting contract. I'll be honest with you. I don't really want to do that. All of these are ones that are not the most exciting thing to do in the world. Sunflowers, it's not worth a ton of money. It's going to cost us more. We're going to make $500 of that. That's not even something to consider. Not something I'm going to consider there either. There's actually not much out here now that I look at it. I mean, there is, but it's just stuff that I don't really want to do. I guess we're going to have to do it, right? We don't have much else. We don't really have a other choice really here. I mean, I could do both of these. It would just take a long time to do, but we could do both of these. Because I could use this one and then use the same harvester from this one to go to here. Yeah. It looks like that might be what we're going to be doing here, but I guess no matter what I do, I need to buy a few of these. So let's buy... I'm just going to buy 3 for the time being. It's going to get us back to pretty much where we started today. That's going to have to do it for the time being. Now, we do have a pallet of solid fertilizer up here. I'm tempted to put that into the wood production. Because we're not really going to be utilizing any seeds or fertilizer on any fields for at least like 5 months. Probably a little more than that, actually. No, wait a minute. When's sunflowers? Sunflowers, I think, are March. Are they March? Yeah, March. So, yeah. The nice thing about going this approach, we do need to get some kind of... I should have, when I rebooted this series, and I didn't really think about it until now, I should have, like, put a... I just knocked everything off. I should have put a, you know, like a pallet fork or forklift or something up here at the shop to utilize that was not owned by me. I should have did that. Too late now. That would have... helped me out tremendously with not having to utilize the liftable bale and pallet mod unless I absolutely had to, right? Which I don't think many people care about that, but I do try to not utilize it when I'm on camera all that often. Sometimes there's nothing for it. And there's certain series like the competitive one-tile challenge where we're absolutely utilizing that to our advantage there because, well, quite frankly, we're only doing 1 episode a week and we only do an hour of actual recording. It's not like I can do multiple. This is the same thing here, right? We're only doing this once a week, but on a typical basis, like you're going to have 2-3 episodes of a series per week, right? So you've got a lot more time to, you know, to spend versus when you only have once a week and you're trying to make progress. So, nonetheless, you get what I mean. So let's get all this stuff off here. I'm going to utilize our telehandler here to do so. I'm not exactly sure where I want to put these at. Where do we put these? I guess I can kind of stage them over there on that side, I guess. Make sure I put the beacons on here, because I'm actually actively moving around, even though there should be nobody on my land. I should still make sure that I'm trying to be as safe as I can here. Okay, so I'm kind of tempted here to... I mean, I guess really I can just put the 3 and the smaller... The 3 greenhouses that have the least amount of liquid fertilizer. The other ones are okay, at least for 1 more episode. So I guess that's what we do, right? So, yeah, let's tag this place. Which one is this one? The one all the way down to the end. So now I got to be very, very careful when I'm doing this, by the way. Like, if I get too close to another one, it's likely to accept it at the other one when we don't really want it to, right? So that's why I've got these tags on specifically, so I can try to make sure that I very much stay within the realm of where we want it to be at. Now, perhaps it's not going to actually accept it in this format. Nope, it does. Okay. All right, and the next one we need is... well, definitely this one. And it's going to be this one, too. All right, so this one is... okay, the second one. All right. Okay, perfect. And then this one is which one? Okay, it's not tagging it. Maybe I put it in the wrong one. Oh boy. Alright, that's the first one. Okay, cool. We can do that. We can do that. Alright, we should... yeah, they're all, except for these two, they're all in the 2000s now, so they should be okay for a little while. We just kind of have to keep that going, right? If we can keep them around the 2000 range, even though they're not maxed out, that should be good for at least 2 episodes, I think. I think those other two are probably going to require another pallet of liquid fertilizer in the next episode, but that's okay. It's less than 3, right? So overall, it's saving us a little bit of money that way. All right, so we need to turn on the solid fertilizer for the wood. Perfect. Now, the seeds are probably going to be chewed through pretty quickly, although I think it was only 0.5 for the seeds. Sorry, 0.5. Okay. So we'll be all right then. 2 pallets should be sufficient for a little while. Perfect. Alright, this can go back over here in its makeshift home for the time being, since we don't really have a whole lot of money we want to spend elsewhere right now. Turn off the beacon and jump back into the John Deere here and then go park this up. And like I said, we'll go looking a little bit here at some contracts and see if that's what we're going to do or not. I'm suspecting, I'm not even suspecting, I expect that's what we're going to probably be doing, is at least one of those. Maybe we don't have the time to do 2. It really depends on how long it takes. I know doing those do take a long time, right? If we were to go to this one, which is 48, which is near where we are right now. So why don't we just go take a look at it really quick here. Oh, that's a huge field. Oh my goodness, that's massive. Holy smokes. And I think that harvester, I think it's only like a 4. It's beets. We don't want that vegetables. Here we go. 3 meter. It's only a 3 meter width. Oh my gosh, that would take an absolute eternity, gang. Alright, so we're going to do this rock removal, gang. I was kind of tempted to go back and forth between this wood transport because it's good money, but that's 29 trees, and I've tried to do this in the past. It's an absolute disaster. I need to spend some more effort and time myself working on doing the wood transport with the little arm thing. I am not the greatest at that. So, to save my sanity and really probably your enjoyment, I'm going to do the rock removal. It's pretty good. $275. There's a $640 reduced amount for borrowing the equipment, but it's still going to produce $2,000 for us. $2,000 is That's no slouch, right? That pretty much will pay for, well, almost will pay for a whole thing of liquid fertilizer. So I feel like that's a good one to go with. I was also tempting to do the deadwood one. We've done a lot of tree work lately on other series, so I think the rock removal is the one to go with. So that's what we're going to do. I haven't done rock removal in a while. Granted, we were doing that in the mountain survival a bit, but other than that, we really haven't done the rock removal a whole lot at all in any series. So pretty good price, so we're going to go for that one. So let's go ahead and borrow those items, and we'll head up to the shop, and we will be on our way. Now, I don't exactly know how easy it's going to be to find these rocks. I've never done it on this map, so I don't know. There's been maps in the past where I've tried to do this type of a contract before, and it's been an absolute disaster to find the rocks, but hopefully it won't be too bad. I don't think there's too many plots of land on Zielonka that you could argue are extremely foresty. Most of them are kind of like this, where there's some trees there, certainly, but it's mostly wide open. You can easily see things. Now, it is a bit of a hike to get there, so we're going to head down to, pretty much the track that goes by our Farm 1, and then we will head on our way up there, and we'll go ahead and get started. I don't think I'm going to need... no, I won't. I shouldn't need this on, but if I do, I guess I can turn it back on. So let's get on up there. I think the fastest way, the easiest way to get up there is just to throw a bit of a mini time lapse in here now, and yeah. I'll see you when we're done. This did not take too long at all. The longest part of it was driving up here, as a matter of fact. So this is an easy 2,000 bucks. I should do these anytime they pop up, honestly. They're real quick. And that's done, just like that. That's pretty crazy. Let's, before we return this, I don't think there will be, but let's just make sure not another one popped up, because if there did, there's a bunch more harvesting contracts that came out, though. A bunch more. A bunch more. A couple sunflowers in there. Those are pretty good ones we could potentially think about doing now that those are out there. No, there's a stone picking, but no, that's it for this one. So we'll go ahead and turn it in. Nice. Gets us closer to 30,000. We'll take that. Let's see. How big are these other ones? That is right by our land. Extremely close. It probably won't take us that long to do that. There's a soybeans one out here, which costs more than you actually make, which is absolute insanity. I don't even know why that's there. And then there's this one, which is a small little guy here. Yeah. I think we're going to do this one. It might take us a minute to do it, but I think we're going to do this one, gang. I think, yeah. That's pretty good money. We're still going to make almost $4 grand off of that. And if we decide to do this one as well, that's another almost $2 grand, right? Let's do it. We got to make money, man. We've got to make money, and right now we're in the winter months. There's not going to be much to do here over the next couple of months, and we really need as much money as we possibly can get right now, so we can try to get all the equipment required here, you know, for March, right? We really, 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 really need to make enough money for March. Otherwise, we're just going to be wasting Farm 2 the whole season, right? I've done these fields many, many times before. They are very, very long. But, you know... Oh, nope, nope, nope. Unfold that, not that. Perfect. But given the size of this, it actually shouldn't take too long. This should be, relatively speaking, a quick process here. This is 5, maybe 6 up and downs, maybe. Let's see, what's it say in Steering Assist? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. It says 6, because you've got it out. Well, it's really 5, because you've got it, you know, the whole outside perimeter, but we don't necessarily have to do the outside perimeter on this field, except for maybe down here by the road, because there are a couple of trees there in the way, but for the most part, we can just do our standard traditional up and downs without really having to do a headland pass, if that makes sense, right? Now, I would suspect that most of the sunflowers can probably fit into this harvester without having to make a trip. There's likelihood that we're probably going to have to make at least one trip, I would think, because we're already 12% full and we're about, I don't know, close to halfway down one pass. I know we just did a time lapse, but I do think that this is better utilized as a time lapse. I don't have much else to talk about today specifically. Other than things I've already talked about quite a few times in this series and other series as well, so I don't really want to bring those up again right now. So let's get it done, and hopefully we'll have enough time left in the episode to do the other sunflower field. If we have enough time to do that other sunflower field, we absolutely will do it. And this will get us a lot closer to 40 grand, which is really a safer spot to be in for next episode, because we're going to make some decent money. Even as we move along here, we're going to make some money because we're going to be selling wood. Obviously, it's going to be on auto-selling, right? So every time an hour hits, we're going to sell whatever's out there. But from now until the next month or whatever, right? And in this series, we are allowed to do more than one episode per month, right? So, but in the winter months when we have such little amount to do, I think it does make sense just to go ahead and jump to the next one. But later on in the series, when we've got a lot to do, it probably makes a lot more sense to have a couple episodes per month. Just so we make sure we have enough time to get everything done, right? Especially once we really get Farm 2 up and running at full capacity here. And then not even counting when we start to include Farm 3, which Farm 3 is going to be a long, long, long ways away. Really, we probably started Farm 2 a little bit too early, even with this reboot. But I definitely wanted to try to keep as much as I could from the original one, which in the original one we had, you know, a second farm started and kind of pretty solidified, honestly. Just decided to reboot it and change the way that things were operating a little bit and kind of maybe delay the root crops of any sort into the last farm unless we decide to change our mind, which I'm considering. I don't know for sure if I will or not, but I'm considering onions, which is a new thing that just came out with the Highlands pack. It's a similar type of thing, but it's not technically a root crop, so even though it really is, but you know what I mean. Doesn't have the same exact equipment, I guess is how I should put it. You don't use the same exact equipment. Anyway, I've rambled on. Let's go. All right, well, clearly we decided to do the second field as well. I couldn't help myself. I mean, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. This is an extra $2,000 we're going to make, a little over that, off of doing this field. To me, it just didn't seem like a smart thing to wait and not do that, given the fact that we had such a massive harvester and header already. So it didn't take us too long to finish this up, so yeah, 100% worth it. I think what I'm going to do, as a matter of fact, I don't know if all of this is going to fit in the trailer we have. I kind of wanted to, you know, kind of do it all in one swoop, if you will, and I'm just not sure that everything will fit in that trailer, though. So that way I don't have to make a second trip all the way down here again to fill up whatever's remaining. But it looks like I'm probably going to have to. 52%. Maybe. Maybe we can fit it. Maybe we can fit it. I'm gonna give it a shot at least. So this is gonna be good money, gang. This is gonna be really, really good money. Now both locations require us to take to the same exact sell point, which is fantastic. That's another reason why I wanted to try to do it in one sitting, if you will. There may be some other ones that have popped up out here, but you know we're not too concerned about those. So let's go fill this up, and then we'll head to the sell point here, and we'll see what kind of money we get as a bonus, and then obviously we'll turn everything in at that point. It fit into the trailer with ease, plenty of room remaining, so saved us a lot of time by doing that for sure. All right, we're at 33,000 right now. 1,300 just hit. 1,300, which would be 1 o'clock military time. 1,300. So we made a little bit more money because of the wood there too, which is great. Contract finished there. And let's see. An extra $2,824 plus a negative $63 for the environmental score penalty. Brings us at current to 36,031, but that is going to go up again once we turn these contracts in. And we are now at $41,667. That is a lot better spot to put us in for these upcoming winter months. And with that, we'll leave the episode at that point. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, smash the like and subscribe button in case you have yet to do so. Thank you to my members. Cannot thank them enough. There's a link down below if you're interested in that. Discord's down below. My other channel also down below. Non-Farming Simulator or related if you're interested in other things that I might come up with. It's all down there below, and you can also check the Discord out for that type of stuff as well, as I release every video on my Discord. So, thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for your continued support. We'll see you next time.